And what is up, everybody? We are back here on Cats Cut Podcast. Feel like we have said that 10 million times, but me and
Yeah,
Cody have actually got a new spark to do this once again. So,
we do.
um, yeah, and there is a specific way we do start this podcast. And Cody, if you want to do the honors for us
Am I
this
doing it?
episode, yes, sir.
Okay. Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the many opportunities we get to talk to each other and have friendship. God, we just thank you for your love, and we thank you for you, Lord, and we thank you for always being there with us through our tough times, God. And just thank you again for everything you do. In Jesus' name, we pray, amen.
Amen. So, this past Saturday, the Kentucky Wildcats got a huge dub. Huge, massive,
Big dub,
great. We
big
needed that
dub,
one. After two straight losses, the Kentucky Wildcats did defeat the number 16 Mississippi State.
big
It
win.
was, yes, sir. It was 27-17. Me and you were actually there, Cody, in section
Mm-hmm.
223. We were there. Um, so
223.
being there in the crowd, what were some things you took away from the game on Saturday?
Well, obviously, a home game advantage kind of makes a big impact on it helps the home team a lot. Everybody knows that, and for sure made a big impact. It
Hmm.
helped the defense out a lot, and we'll get to that in a minute. But defense played a heck of a game, and
They
after
did.
a couple stops and when the crowd gets into the game, it's just kind of over from there when the crowd gets into it because there's no stopping them. So.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, there were multiple occasions like where like the crowd was just so into it, and you could tell like the miscommunication in the Mississippi State offense. Like Will Rogers, like he would have to run up to the line and scream. It looked like he was getting a little aggravated back there, having to yell at them guys. I mean, Kroger was rocking on Saturday. I
The
mean,
game he had, I'd be aggravated too. I would be
yeah, I
aggravated.
mean, like you said, the defense did show up, and I mean, Will Rogers, one of the most, well-known gunslingers in the SEC. I mean, went 25 for 37 for 203, averaged 5.5 yards per pass, one touchdown, one interception, and a 65.4 QBR. I don't know about you, but it sounded like to me that the Kentucky defense kind of ate.
They did eat.
They
When
ate.
when you stop the one of the best quarterbacks to only 203 yards when he is averaging almost 400 plus yards a game, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
And them saying that Mississippi State one of the most underrated SEC football teams out there, and we beat them, and probably should have beat them more by 10 points. Very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like we left a lot on the scoreboard there. Even just in the middle of the game, like Will Levis went out, and I mean there was some just like some miscommunications, and the O line just wasn't holding up a lot. And that's one thing
Yeah,
we've kind of struggled with this year. I mean, it's weird being a Kentucky fan and knowing like the strength of Kentucky offenses is usually the offensive line, like the big blue wall. I
yeah.
mean, we've produced numerous guys in the NFL that are now starting and playing well. And for him to struggle the year that we actually have a quarterback and wide receivers, it's just it's kind of odd. But
It is odd.
but moving back to the Mississippi State game, Will Levis went out for like one play, and we're all like, "Crap! No, no, no! Will, get up, get up, get up!" He lays there, and you see him. He gets back up, and he's holding his shoulder, and you see him. He's running, and he's just kind of holding that shoulder up and his hand kind of up. He runs in there. The defense. I mean, we turn the ball over, and we get it back. And then midway through the defensive drive, you see Will Levis run back out, and you're like, like that crowd went nuts when they saw Will Levis run back out. It was insane.
Yeah, we both knew it was going to happen too. We were talking to each other. It's like he's running
I
back
told
out,
you,
and we're
I
going to win
said
the
if Will
game.
Levis runs back out, this place is going to go insane, and we are winning this football game. And I mean, the offense, I mean, it was looking like it was struggling. Not gonna lie. And then
Hmm.
it felt like when he came back, it was like, okay, this guy has balls of steel. Like, I mean, There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, he came back out firing that, especially that whole offense, especially when he came back out. The offense line stepped up with Jeremy Flax coming out, Buford coming in and stepped in, and man, Chris Rodriguez. I mean, oh gosh, I'm so
What a
happy
game.
to have that man on our field. I mean, that's one of the best running backs in the SEC. It's awesome to have him back there.
Yeah, it is for sure.
And it definitely helped Will out.
Oh yeah, 100%. And what made it even crazier, I think, was the receivers that stepped up this game, because we didn't have Tavion Robinson, our number one receiver, and that puts more pressure on Barryon Brown, and Dane Key really didn't get as many snaps as he usually gets, due to him getting hurt last game. And I mean, he was kind of questionable going into this week as well. But we had guys like Dakel Crowdis and McLean, whatever, however you're gonna say it. And then we had McLean. He stepped up huge in the passing game too. He had 48.
Rashawn Lewis stepped up big too. He had 4 receptions for 42 yards. He stepped up. So what's one guy that I've been wanting to see play a little bit more, because I knew, he's got a little potential and he's not got the playing time that I think he deserves a little bit. So
one stat that's kind of like pops out to me about this game is Will Levis was 17 for 23 for 230 yards, 1 tutty, 1 interception, but he had more yards than Will Rogers on 8 less pass completions and 14 less attempts.
And that just tells you how stout our defense played that night. That just tells you our defense is very underrated, and Brad White is one of the best defensive coaches in college football. That's why Brian Kelly wanted him at LSU, because he's that good and he knows he's that good.
Yep.
So
that's right.
So I mean that's what you expect from a defensive coach like that, and the leaders you have back there, and as like linebacker, for example, safety. That's what you get from those guys. That's what you expect as a fan. You expect that leadership, and for them to step up like that, and beat teams like this and hold them to that many points, which it should have only been 10 points. I'm not going to say anything about play call decisions, but still got the game. Still got it done.
Yeah, you hate our new OC, man. It's kind of funny.
Don't like some of the decisions he makes. So he's going to have to. He can prove me wrong against Tennessee. He's got to prove me wrong. But
yeah, I mean, we do got a week of rest, and hopefully Will's shoulder is okay. Hopefully he gets that rested up and gets well with that. And hopefully our O-line kind of just gets healthy, because I mean, Flax has been dealing with injuries lately. And Manning, I mean, he played last game, but he's been out with injuries. I mean, just hopefully this O-line can just get healthy, come back, and just be dominant on the front line against Tennessee. Oh man, if we can, I'm not even gonna talk myself into it. I don't want to get my hopes up, but man, that Tennessee game it's just not hard. It's hard not to talk about right now.
It is right. It's hard. It is hard not to talk about. And then coming off that big win.
Yeah.
What has all the Tennessee fans been talking about? Georgia. They looked it up.
But you've not heard them say one time Kentucky.
I haven't heard one person talk about Kentucky. Maybe a couple fans, but they're too worried about the ACC championship. And I talked about this at the beginning of the season. Mark Stoops put this schedule out perfectly. This was the perfect time to put Tennessee coming off a bye week, and them having this much momentum. This could be a big trap game for Tennessee, and I'm not being biased. This is a big trap game.
No, it is a big trap game. I've heard that from numerous people, in the media and on Twitter and stuff. J-Rod on Twitter. Big shout out to him. He's an awesome follow. He was one of the first people I saw bring that up, even before the Bama game, that this is a trap game for Tennessee, because like you said, they're already looking forward to Georgia, and I hope they do. I hope they game plan for Georgia.
Yeah,
because C-Rod can put 300 yards rushing on him. Because, I think that Tennessee has a good defense. I'm not disrespecting them at all. but
Yeah.
I think their offense is what carries that team, and I think our defense is better than their defense, if that makes sense.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
And I think, and we saw some early struggles, like early on in the season, some defensive struggles. But I think a lot of that just had to do the large amount of turnaround that the secondary and the front seven had to do, because we got a lot of new players, and we got a few kind of late in the summer, like the kid from Ole Miss and the kid from Mississippi State that we actually got. And I mean, it was just, we got them kind of late, and now they're kind of starting to click. Like Valentine, he's a dog.
He's gotten a lot better since last year. I'll give him credit for that.
For sure.
He's put the work in.
Like, I mean, last year we were like,
impressed.
I remember a conversation you had last year. We were like, there's no way this guy should even be on the team next year. Like, he was like that, like bad. Like, I mean,
and no disrespect to Valentine whatsoever, because I probably couldn't do what he does.
Oh, me either.
But
no doubt.
Last year on a level that you were supposed to be on, you probably shouldn't have been playing. But you've got 2 times better, and you've impressed me so much.
Oh, yeah.
That's very good for him. And
I mean, I've heard you say this at the games. You say, don't throw at that NFL corner right there. The dude's been locked down. Like, I mean, we saw people try to test him. It's no fly zone.
You can't. If you sit near us at a Kentucky game, you will hear me say it. Do not throw that NFL corner. It's dangerous out there.
Yeah.
It's an island. Is it not?
Yeah, it is for sure. For sure.
He stepped up.
It is. And I mean, like we said, there's a big game here in 2 weeks versus Tennessee. And next Tuesday, we will actually have a special guest, a Tennessee Volunteers fan, Dylan Saylor. He will be joining the podcast next week, and he will be giving us a little bit of insight on that Tennessee Volunteer team. As a fan, he knows a little bit more about Tennessee than we do. But, I mean, we've watched them here and there. But, going to that Tennessee game, it's going to be a tough one, man. It's in Neyland. Neyland is one of the toughest places to play in America. And
I mean, you see what the games they've had there. I mean, they pack it out. Man, Florida, they packed it out, and the Bama game. And if nobody's seen it on the news, apparently there was a small earthquake after the field goal against Alabama. I mean, that's loud. It's impressive if you can do that in a football stadium. So
yeah, for sure. And like you said, man, they're packing that place out. Like the hype around Tennessee football, since I've been alive, it's not been this big.
Like it's not been this big in a long time.
Hendon Hooker has sparked like a new fandom in Tennessee, which I think, honestly, since COVID, I think sporting events have gotten more packed because we saw during COVID, like you couldn't go to these events. It's hard to get like these limited seating and all that. And now since then, like all these other places, like Kroger, like before, you can even attest to this. Kroger wasn't that packed before COVID, like how it's been these past 2 years.
Yeah. The past 2 years, they have sold out a lot, and it's that just tells you what Mark Stoops is doing, how the program's going forward. People are getting excited to come back and watch Kentucky football again.
Yeah, for sure.
It's right now as a Kentucky fan, any Kentucky fan, you got to be really confident in this team right now. I'm very confident, and I've seen a lot of people on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, people talking about. This ain't over yet. We got a shot at the East still. But a lot of things have to happen.
A lot of things do have to happen.
There's nothing wrong with a little faith. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm very confident in our defense coordinator and our head coach.
I agree with that, man. Like, one thing I've noticed, man, like even throughout the season is the second half adjustments, man. Like the game was 3-3 at half, right? I want to say it was like something like that.
Yes, it was. It was 3-3.
Yeah, it's 3-3 at half, and to put up 24 points in the second half shows you that this team knows how to make adjustments. And like It's like every game. It's like, what are we watching? Like, what is this team? And then, boom, right out the second half, they're like ready to go. It looks like a great offense, great defense. Like, it looks like they're clicking. So that's one thing I do.
Yeah, the offensive line. Yeah, the offensive line turned up the second quarter.
Oh, they did.
Second half. I will say that the offensive line turned up, man.
Yeah, and I still like I'm no disrespect to Kenneth Orsi, but I want to see him play guard. Like I think he is so much better as a guard. He proved that last year as well. I think he's just so much better on the inside of the line than on the outside. And we got 5-star Keontae Goodwin on the bench, man. Like get him out there.
And no credit taken from Jagger Burton, man. You've done a great job. But Kenneth Orsi's got a little bit more experience. Kenneth Orsi has played the position longer than you have, and he knows what he's doing. And I'm with Christian. I would rather have him at guard. I would rather have him at guard. And I'll be honest with you, you either put Goodwin out there or you put Buford out there. The way Buford played the second half, I would put him.
Buford was a dog.
That, or I would put Flax at tackle, and then I would put Buford at the right tackle. Switch Flax to left and let him play the right tackle, and I think that would that could work.
That could
but
work,
I'm not
actually.
The coach. That's not me.
Yeah, I don't like. I couldn't draw up a scheme, but like I just think Kenneth Orsi's he's quick for that guard position. So like when you do those, like when you're sending C-Rod off to the right or to the left, he can pull. Like I think he's fast at pulling.
Yeah.
Like off the line.
He's smart too. He's really smart.
Yeah, he really is.
And he has gotten a lot better at tackle. He's gotten used to it. He's getting more accustomed to playing that.
Yeah, he's getting a lot better.
More. He has.
Yeah, I mean,
I think our offensive line, the way they stepped up in the second half, I think if they can definitely do that, it'll be it's going to be a nightmare for Tennessee.
Yeah, I think they all they got the hint when Will Levis went down. Like when that happened, when he went down with the shoulder because he got hit, I think they were all like, all right, we need to step up. And they did. They did. After that moment, he did. I don't think he got touched the rest of the game. We didn't pass as much the rest of the game, but he wasn't getting touched.
Well, he did, but he made some incredible throws when he was getting pressured.
After like he went down.
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think he got touched after that. He might have after the throw or something, like a late hit or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, that offensive line, man, they were opening up so many holes. I mean, like C-Rod, like the offensive line did good when your running back rushes for 200 yards almost.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh, and let me give a little shout out to C-Rod. Let me pull up this stat real quick. I tweeted it from the Cats Cut podcast page on Twitter. If you guys want to go follow that, our Facebook page, and also our Instagram, if you want to go follow those. Also, help us out, yes, for sure. But let me go find the stat on C-Rod. Like, I mean, he freaking ate. He has these past 3 games since he's been back. Chris Rodriguez is actually ranked number 10 according to PFF and all of the nation's running backs with a grade of 88.9. And just think of how many running backs there are in the nation, FBS, FCS. And he's ranked number 10 in 3 games. 3 games. And in those 3 games, he has 394 yards on 71 carries with 3 touchdowns in 3 games.
That's crazy.
Against
crazy
all SEC competition.
Yes.
That man is a tank.
That man is going to be an unbelievable running back in the NFL.
For sure. Quote me
on that too. He will be an unbelievable running back.
And like he's so strong, man, for his size. Mm-hmm. Like I know this kind of sounds biased, but like what I was telling some people in this chat I'm on Twitter was Chris Rodriguez plays like Nick Chubb, like that style. Like he's like baby Nick Chubb with a fumble problem.
Yeah,
he hasn't
fumbled yet.
He hasn't fumbled this year. Last year he had a fumble problem. He did, and he's looked a lot better so far this year.
Not jinx him yet, but he's not fumbled yet. That's
we got a little comment from Blake Ramey. He said, "Totally biased. Let's go."
Oh, Blake.
He's awful. listen here, Blake. I'm going to send this directly to Chris Rodriguez to let him know that you think he's awful. But
Yeah,
anyways,
we're great friends.
yeah. But moving back to Mississippi State and Kentucky, they really impressed me with that game. That was when you had to win. You win it, and just good for the program. It's good for Stoops.
Good for Stoops. Good win for Stoops. Especially when you upset a team that's in front of you in the rankings, it's impressive, and the way you beat them,
And I do agree with one of these comments. We do need Cody Green out there. Cody Green could lead this team to a national championship.
I could. Let me sling the rock.
But Kentucky basketball is heating up. Big Blue Madness was last Friday. The blue and white games is Saturday. I might go to that. I don't know. I probably won't since it's in Pikeville. And I really don't want to have to make that drive to Pikeville. But it's a good event. Yeah. They're trying to help out with everybody kind of recovering from the floods. And that's a good thing for them. Trying to help out with the Eastern Kentucky and that horrible disaster that happened this past summer. But looking over the roster, I mean, this year we've got some studs. We brought quite a bit back too. I mean, this year we've got. I'm just gonna read off the roster real quick. This is going in number order. So this isn't going in like projected starters or anything like that. It's we got Jacob Toppin, CJ Frederick, Xavier Wheeler, Adu Euro or whatever, how you gonna say that? Damian Collins, Antonio Reeves, Grant Derbyshire. See, I'm not good. I'm from Eastern Kentucky. I can't really pronounce these funky names, so bear with me. Walker Horn, Carson Wallace, Chris Livingston, Kareem Watkins, Ogunga Onissa. I gotta hear. It's kind of like Oscar Tshiebwe.
You get a pass on that one. You get a pass on that one because I don't.
Yeah, so I gotta hear it a few times.
Kentucky fans couldn't do that.
Yeah, so I mean, it took me a little bit to get Tshiebwe down, and then Lance Ware. I mean, it sounds like a pretty good squad to me.
You got some good forwards for sure. Bringing back Oscar Tshiebwe. He won about every award you could think of last year. I don't think he missed one. Tshiebwe. There's no T in it. Every time I said Oscar Tshiebwe, somebody's like, no, it's Tshiebwe.
See, I've always heard it's Tshiebwe. It might be Tshiebwe. I like to say Tshiebwe.
I just don't think people know how to say it. People don't know how to say it.
They're probably.
I'm just trying to ask him, Big O. How do you pronounce your name?
It's Big O. But it's good getting another big guy. I mean, this guy is 6'11". Last year, we don't have anybody taller than Oscar. I mean, we got three guys at 6'9". We've got Damian Collins, Oscar, and Lance. They're all at 6'9". But like when we had to play these big teams like Mississippi State and Alabama, I mean, they were just kind of eating on the like it wasn't even anything to like. I mean, Oscar played great defense against him. It was just like
he did.
It's like it helped. Like when he was off the court, it really hurt. And like you said, Auburn
they had a big 7-footer, and it was hard for Oscar to deal with. But he still dealt with him.
Yeah, but he really did. It ended up hurting.
Man, if Oscar was 7 foot, Oscar would just be. I mean, he's already unreal, but it would just make him. Wow.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Which I think our guard play is pretty big, but according to Blake, DJ is committing to us. According to my sources, I do have to agree. I think he is coming though. I mean,
I think after getting I can't think of his name, but everybody knows.
I couldn't either. I went Blake, but yeah, the big
everybody knows what I'm talking about.
He's a good friend. Yeah, after we got him,
good friend of him, and apparently they were both wanting to follow each other. Oh, sorry, yeah.
Big shout out to the super fan Blake Ramey of Cats Cut. We'll have to get him on here. We're gonna get Blake Ramey on Cats Cut next week.
Can't
confirm. That's my sources. Yeah, we're gonna be sponsored by Blake Ramey's Lawn Care Service and Real Estate. That's what.
He's good. He's a good man. He's a good man.
He's a good man. He knows the Lord. He preaches. He's good.
He knows the Lord, buddy.
That's all that matters. But yeah, going back to basketball, like this basketball team, I mean, it looks pretty solid. Like I don't want to get overhyped like I did last year. Like I was like, we got Tata, we got Sabir, we got CJ before he got hurt. And I mean, it's a good thing that we got him back this year. But man,
It's
after that Tennessee game,
I just
go ahead.
go ahead.
My bad. You go ahead.
I was just going to say I think the mindset is completely different this year. You know, obviously your mindset. What's your mindset? Win the national championship, win the SEC championship. Don't get beat out of the first round by St. Peter's. Don't lose to Tennessee once. Don't lose to anybody. You know, it's the mindset that I'm on. To be honest with you, the mindset Oscar is bringing in, and you know, the mindset he's bringing in. Antonio Reeves, Severe, Jacob, CJ. The mindset they're bringing in right now is just nobody's beating us, and they're gonna play their best ball every game.
Yeah, and one thing I have noticed is they look a lot like more toned and bigger. Like, have you saw the pictures of them on Twitter and stuff floating around since the new strength and conditioning coach?
At them right now.
Dude, they're getting pretty jacked. Not gonna lie.
But, I think it was because their haircuts.
Yeah,
a lot of them got haircuts.
Yeah, a lot of them got haircuts. But Blake did bring up a good question. He said, "How do y'all feel about Oscar's injury?" It scares me because they're not being like fully open about it just yet.
I mean, the only thing that anybody's heard, unless other people have heard more, is that it was just a minor knee surgery and that he would be out like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So I don't think it's a big problem. But until we hear anything else, but let's just hope it's. I mean, I don't think it's anything serious, but let's just hope it's not anything too serious.
Yeah, like I mean, we don't really have our first like real game of the year is until November 7th. And that's versus Howard at Rupp, and then we got
tough one.
I don't even know how to pronounce this school name, like Dunsky or something like that. I'm not even gonna. And then we got Michigan State on the 15th, SC State on the 17th, and then Gonzaga on the 20th. So there has been like an agreement with Gonzaga that we're gonna be playing them like a lot these next few years.
I like it.
I do too.
They finally get some competition. They're not going to be playing chess teams anymore. They get to play actual basketball program. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with him, especially being at Gonzaga. It's going to be interesting to see what this team does. And if this team performs really well and actually beats Gonzaga, I don't know, give or take 10, 20 points, something like that, like it did against Kansas, this team is probably going to be it's going to be really scary. And I already think it's scary. You know, I think they're a really dangerous team.
Yeah, which, I mean, looking at our schedule, man, we've got a gauntlet this year. And
it's tough.
And, you know, Cat's cut was based off of Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpens iron pretty much. And, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to go against the best. Like, you can't say you're the best in the nation and play nobody. Like, you can't go here and play high schools. Yeah. And then get in tournament and then flop like we did last year. So, I mean, I think that playing these teams in the season, kind of setting us up for that, is going to really help us out. And, you know, Oscar, like you said, the mindset's totally different from last year. The reason Oscar's even back at Kentucky this year is because he said, I'm not losing to St. Peter's first round. And that was one of the most embarrassing probably losses under Calipari. And, you know, Calipari's got to be juiced too as well.
Oh, yeah. For sure, dude. All the crap that he's – I don't hear
Cody. He's just trolling.
Oh, okay.
He's just trolling.
But going back to the schedule, you're talking about the gauntlet. You got to play number 2, and then a couple games after that, you got to play Michigan. I know it's going on.
No,
UCLA.
He said he could hear it in his living room.
You probably can.
Yeah. It's all right.
You got 8 UCLA, and then you got obviously Louisville, which is always, it don't matter if they're ranked or not. It's always going to be a tough game with Louisville. And then you got to play Bama. Then you got to play Tennessee twice. You got to play number 5 Kansas at Rupp this year. You got to play number 10 Arkansas. I mean, number 15 Auburn. ACC play is tough enough, but then you already got the other teams before them.
Mhm.
You know, you get to experience that before them. So.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this basketball team, man. And you know, a lot of people are just saying like Kentucky's just a basketball school. I mean, the football team's doing good, and it feels cool that Kentucky is one of the few teams in the nation that have both a top 25 basketball team and football team.
Yeah, and that's rare for, especially when it goes back to the football program. It's rare for us to be a top 25 team throughout the season. You know, basketball is not really rare. We're always top 5.
Mike's cracking me up in these comments. You have a problem that needs fixed.
Well, I can't fix the problem currently. So.
No, it's all good, man. He's just trolling. Blake is.
He's not trolling.
He's just trolling, man. He's Blake Ramey's the biggest fan of Cats Cut, but he's also the biggest hater of Cats Cut.
Yeah.
He's our only fan right now, actually. But nah, dude, we're gonna grow. This is our first time in like 10 years doing this. So I mean, we gotta start at the bottom. We're dogs. We're gonna eat. Roof. But but yeah, going back to basketball, man, I'm really excited. I mean, the hype behind Kentucky basketball, it feels like it's back. We've got some depth this year with the big men. We got some shooters instead of just Kalen Grady, who choked horribly in the SEC tournament. And I mean, he did great during the season, but like, I mean, it hurt, man. Cena. Yeah, he did. It just kind of, I feel bad for him, man, because like he had such a good year. And there's a lot of expectations on him going into the year. Because, I mean, he was one of the older guys on the team. Like, I mean, Ty was calling him grandpa because he was like 24 years old playing college basketball.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of hard to see a guy go from the best 3-point shooter in college basketball to Shaquille O'Neal shooting 3-pointers. So,
yeah.
Kind of tough.
Yeah. Take the battery out until the show is over. But I'm kidding. Oh, never mind. I know what she's talking about now. But anyways, going back to the basketball team. Yeah, it's just I feel like we're gonna dominate this year. I don't want to say this is the year for 9, but I'll reassess that in March.
Well, I don't know. It's sometimes with this basketball team, we always seem to play good in the regular season, and we just fall apart in the tournament somehow. I don't get it.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I'll definitely be watching this blue and white game we got coming up on Saturday, and and on TV, and hopefully we get to see a little bit extra of these freshmen and these newcomers, and just kind of get a feel for their style of play and stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch them for sure.
Yeah, no, I think it's been a good episode, Cody. It's been the return of Cats Cut.
Yeah, and hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, we'll keep it going for sure. We're doing this every Tuesday at 8:00. Catch us on Twitter, catch us on Facebook, catch us on YouTube. And we'll be uploading this actually on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify, so you can listen to it again if you want to. And thank you guys for listening. And go Cats.
Go Cats.